Stakeholders Forum. We are live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Unchained Vibes Africa. The next segment will be kicking off right away. Please let us be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Freedom Vibes Panel Stakeholders Forum. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The second section will be commencing immediately.
Yes, we will be continuing where we left off. We have a few more presentations that we will present, as I mentioned earlier on, and we will also use this opportunity to have our lunch. So please, can everybody remain seated for the time being as we continue. Before we set up with the screening of the Freedom Vibes Academy alumni projects, I would like to pick up where we left off. House and Rapper, can you quickly come and perform before we continue? A round of applause for House and Rapper. Classic, that would I eat.
Nigeria, ida ina son ki a lafiya, even if you hate me, duk duniyar nan banda kamar ki, mabadi an son duka na baki. How I wish you have good leaders, sai da kash you have good looters, sace kudin wasu kai abroad, kidnappers there everywhere, lungu da sako babu tsaro ga barayi na sata da biro, suna doka ne for talaka, da equality ba tokalo a boge ta, duk da ku da ƴan kuku karfin aukunta, ki bala ba si ba da baraba yi ba na ba ga ba saba ku.
Thank you very much. As I said, first we're going to kick off the second phase of the Unchained Vibes Africa Freedom Vibes Kano Stakeholders Forum with the screening of the Freedom Vibes Academy Alumni Project 2023/2024 session overview. So, if you're ready.
Hello? Great. Thank you. Okay, so I'll try and make this very quick. So many issues came up in the first session about artists doing the right thing. People have expressed concerns about some artists, TikTokers, and what they put online, what they do, and all that. So this presentation will address those issues. We have a program called Freedom Tribes Academy. And what is it about? Strengthening the advocacy capabilities of socially conscious artists. Hello, one now, are we together? Are we together? Okay. So, why do we need the Freedom Tribes Academy? Why do we need the Freedom Tribes Academy? Because of those issues that people have raised. And I have a very classic example. In 2020, this poet from Kwara State was detained, was accused of defamation, inciting Nigerians against the former Minister of Information, who is from that state. And he was reportedly detained for 45 days. It was a case of protest art, protest literature that addresses real socio-political issues and expresses objection against them. But of course, the approach is one of the reasons we have established Freedom Tribes Academy. This poem was performed in Yoruba, but it's translated in Tansi. Sincere apologies for the interruption. Okay. Oh, sorry. So, before someone an armed robber, his full name, with his image and everything, you must have proof that for the fights, you must have proof, have evidence. Our lawyer here who can say a lot more about that. Observe some of these things. In this case, the guy was actually reading for. Even though we still believe that defamation should not be a criminal offense, if you follow the international human rights standard, defamation should be a civil offense. So defamation is actually a civil issue. It's an offense to defame someone. When you mention somebody's name, you must have proof that when it gets to litigation, legal battle, to prove beyond every reasonable doubt that person is actually an armed robber. So many other things that he said. But of course, the other problem we have with that is an abuse of office also, where because Mr. just get someone arrested, presented in court, we were not arraigned for prosecution for 45 days, and even his family members arrested. So these are part of the abuses that we strongly condemn. However, there's a need to guide artists. follow best practices. The first example I used about AG1 was a smart one. The name was not mentioned. And every allegation of that protest was anybody because of Kano State. The structure of the academy. The first phase of it is a 3-day workshop, in-person training workshop. And some of the participants have not said.
My name is Aminu Umar Mukhtar, aka Aminu Nasara from Kano State. I'm Oinkasola Adeshewa. I'm a performance poet, visual artist, girl, child, and youth advocate. My name is Musmono Jebamo, also known as Mo, a songwriter and a singer. My name is Jameson Naji. I'm an Hollywood actor. I'm also an advocate. I'm a theater and filmmaker. My experience at Unchained Vibes, what will I say? Thought-provoking, mind-blowing. Okay, it taught me how you can actually do advocacy, understand, protect your freedom of speech. I'm so glad to be part of the Freedom Vibes Academy, courtesy of Unchained Vibes Africa. It has really been such an enlightening event, like having different discussions and meeting various veteran artists and activists.
As you can recognize some faces, sessions in our midst here.
And learned so much, and I honed my skills interacting with people. The experience at Freedom Vibes Academy has been perspective changing and uplifting because I learned to use my art in a better way.
My journey here at Freedom Vibes Academy has been an inspiring one. I learned so much about what it takes to be a creative, different method to become a better creative.
It has opened my eyes to so many things. I mean, meeting mentors that have talked to us and then showed us that it's not only us that's going through this struggle. They have been through it, they're still going through it, but we now have hope that if they can get through it, we can.
I've learned a lot in Freedom Vibes Academy, and I also learned how to use my art for social change in the society. And I was also happy to be taught by some of my mentors and my adults in the industry.
I've also been able to learn how to leverage on international communities like ECOWAS.
In the interest of time, so that's the first phase, physical training workshop. Messaging, rules, other forms of expression using our talent, our hands. Phase 2 is virtual mentoring session, remotely, put it together every month. So, thanks to technology, we have a virtual mentoring session where is engage with the participants, share their experiences with them, and they learn. One of them is Oscar multi-choice, nationally filmmaker, several other people. Participants also had the opportunity to interact with the UN Special Rapporteur to the cultural rights. We also guided participants. And of course, the phase 3 is the graduation and induction to Freedom Vibes Academy Alumni Network. That's why we have a lot of alumni here. Please, you may stand up for recognition. Just wave your hand if you are Freedom Vibes Academy alumni. We are very proud of them, and 2 of them will be showcased in their project. And that's part of the phase 3 when you graduate and you are very your proposal pitch went well. To the projects, right? 2 of them should be. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ayodele Ganiu. Next up, as just mentioned, we're going to move on to projects from our alumni and those that did a great performance and also the projects, workshops and supporting. First of all, we're going to start off with Love Puri. Nakure Leaders of Tomorrow. Earlier on, I had forgotten, or I was not aware of the presence of Hajia Bint Sani Bala. She's the Director, Minister of Culture and Tourism, or shall I say the representative of the Commissioner. So please, a round of applause for her taking her time out to be here with us. And not only that, a round of applause for the fact that she stayed behind to the end of this session. Thank you very much. So as I said, we're going to start off with a production by one of the alumni, Nakure, or Leaders of Tomorrow.
What will you do for your people and the country at large?
Thank you very much for this wonderful question. If I am elected as the president of this country, be rest assured that we make everybody comfortable. We will build bridges in the air. We make sure the health sector start working. We give scholarship to every children, even the one in the womb. We will make sure we give them scholarship. We will make sure that it's food. We imply cook in every home. Everybody will be well fed. Everybody who are even in the bushes, we are going to make sure that there is free education. Everything will be free. Cast your vote. Don't forget that we are here to make sure that the line of others will not repeat. We'll be put even bridges in the air. Don't worry. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Pure sound.
A message from Love Korea. I don't see it shady, I don't see it shady. I don't feel too good, I don't feel too good. I don't do us this, I don't do us this. I don't feel too good, I don't feel too good. Them say we be leaders of tomorrow, them no be a zero, now we don't know. Them talk say we be leaders of tomorrow, them no be a zero, now we don't know. Time and time, them go they tell us lie. Time and time, them go they surprise us. Time and time, that's also same story. Many years them talk say we be leaders of tomorrow. Till today we never smell the receipt we they follow. Many years them talk say them go kiss our we follow. Till today Saka they bout the extra anyhow. Now so they do the yama they do yamu pata hash. Now so they do the promise fake promises. Now so they do the life for us they do the sweet talk us. Then they go wake up demons who are and some say we be leaders of tomorrow. Them no be a zero, now we don't know. Them some say we be leaders of tomorrow. Them no be a zero, now we don't know. Time and time, them go they tell us lie. Time and time, them go they surprise us. Time and time, not so same story. Make we wake up, Nigeria, wake up, make we wake up, Nigeria, wake up.
A round of applause for Nakure. Before we go to the next presentation, I would like to call Ricky Ultra so that he may moderate the artist spotlight and interactions. So we're going to have a little interaction. You can ask questions and interact with Love Pure and Vicky Ultra, who will be moderating.
All right, all protocols duly observed, because I think the list is quite endless. My names are Eliakub Ismail, right? Also known as Ricky Ultra. And as a matter of fact, I intend to stand here as a representative of Unchained Vibes Africa. Unchained Vibes Africa is actually an organization that tends to look at the possibilities of empowering artists for social causes, trying to make sure that they try as much as possible to know what is definitely right and how to do it right. And as a matter of fact, we are going to be inviting one of their most unique, although not unique, everybody's unique, by the right, but we have a very, very special guest here who will be showcasing one of his works. And he goes by the name of Shekoyemi Ibrahim Kore. Please a big round of applause for him. Love Korea, you're most welcome. And of course, this particular forum is with you. And everybody right here have actually seen your work. And so everybody has actually seen your work right now. Can you tell us how you came across Freedom Vibes Africa?
So, I came about by students, like those, whatever you do, somebody out there seeing what you do, and you have that inspiring. There are people that are watching you. So I was just around one day, saw a new number, sent me apply for the scholarship. And when I applied, you applied, and then that was how I don't mind change my budget.
So how would you actually describe your experience and what did you learn?
I learned so many things, and when I came on board, now they're all right. So when I came on board during the academy, we had a lot of experts and a lot of people that also packed us with a lot of knowledge. We had people like Norbert Young, Chama Nicolako, we had Femi, we had Shin Puti, we also had Idris Abdulkarim, and Alexandra. So, but one of the things I will take out from the whole thing is you could see that these are people that live a life showing us example of some of the things they did in line with fighting the good cause for Nigerians, and because most of them were selfless, and you could even see, for instance, I remember when I was asking Idris Abdul Karim and some of the things he said about the sacrifice you have to take and how you have to even, but he said something which I also advise artists here to also look at, that whenever you want to do something or you want to write for politicians or for government, something that is very sensitive by the government, make sure you have your facts, do your research, so that when you are talking from the point of fact. Because at the end of the day, when you don't have facts, just like what we said, I think we should fear that time, right? So, but when you have your facts, you fear not, right? So those are some of the things. And then we also saw how to leverage on art as a skill, using art. And everybody here will agree with me that we love music. And for some of our ladies, when they are heartbroken, You listen to Adele, you listen to some music to calm their heart. And music have a way, when we are also happy, you play music to dance. So one way or the other, music sticks and pass the message. I remember sometimes when you go to the barber shop and to have a haircut, just listening to the song, when you go back home and you are trying to just think, you start singing that song, right? So that means there's power in music. And all we just want is it should give us that freedom, whereby we will pass our message through music, through poetry, through visual art, and all that.
Wow, that's quite exciting, and definitely I've learned a lot from you as well. Now, you were actually one of the 4 contestants during the particular academy program, and of course, this particular project everybody is watching right now, or has watched rather, was being supported and carried out by Unchained Africa. Now, how do you feel showcasing this particular project today, and everybody's quite I think everybody was marveling at the product of this particular work. How do you feel about it?
First of all, I want to appreciate Unchained Africa, and then I want to also appreciate all the team that came together for the production, and I want to especially also acknowledge Legacy. So he was the one that acted teacher, right? So one of the things that I feel so happy to see the project. One of the good things is that this project is going to have a lot of stage. Right when I was in secondary school and primary school, they've been telling us that we are the leaders of tomorrow. I'll be here alive. Or up to tomorrow never reach. Tomorrow never reach. And we are getting older, right? And the more we get older, we want to become these leaders. So these are some of the challenges, and I was inspired like seeing this thing happening around us, and even not just Nigeria, Africa. In fact, you see other people, other countries laughing at Africans because our leaders, most of them are very, very young. You understand? So in the other way, you understand? So they are very, very young. Like if you check in the history of all those countries, Africa have the youngest president. True.
Like 2 years ago.
Yeah. So Africa have the youngest president and so on, leaders. So we want to be leaders. I think I was like whereby somebody made a statement, and I love that statement. It was like, why is it that the old politicians we carry the young people as advisors? Why it is supposed to be we, the young people, becoming the leaders? They're carrying them as advisors because they have wealth of experience. So they should now guide us. But now they're carrying us that are young to become advisors. What will lead them? You understand?
That's a food for thought, actually. So can you say that was the driving motivation for you to carry out this project?
Yes, so that's the motivation, because I see that so many people are sleeping, and we really need to wake up, because the more we say tomorrow, that tomorrow, I think we need to start now. We need to act immediately. And like one of my songs, I also say, individual African, stand up African, saying we should stand up at Africa. We should take the bull by the horn. So my advice is all Nigerians should get up on their feet and should not be afraid, right? And no change you see that just think like that, little by little. Like the French people say, on paix, petit à petit, that's all meaning little by little, the bed nest. So little by little, we all are going to make our nest. I believe we'll have a better Nigeria.
Wow, that's nice. Okay, as a matter of fact, I would like to ask you, how do you plan to carry out your artwork via advocacy?
Okay, so so far so good. My songs have been on platforms, and one of the things I want to do more is raging on digital space. As you know, the more you use the digital space, the more you get a wider reach. And just recently, I also released, because I do a lot of songs around SDG. So I have songs around agriculture, have songs around bad governance, have songs around implementation, songs around climate change. Sent two songs like climate change. So with all this, I believe using the space, including this project, is one way to showcase my work. And it's one way I can get more people to learn about my own view and also to stand up, yeah? Because I'm getting educated. So that's another way we can.
All right, one final question before we round up this whole session. Looking at how artistic freedom is a challenge for most youths or creatives, as the case might be, how are you going to navigate the waters to make sure that you put up projects that are sensitive to the government? How are you going to manipulate that process?
So with that, one of the ways I would use to navigate that is one, before I put out any content, even this content, right? Before I put it together, one of the things I did a lot of research. When I did a lot of research, I wrote my lyrics, and then I did a proofread through to make sure that there's nothing there in that one, you understand? And then I make sure that I also seek people's opinion, because at the end of the day, if you don't seek people's opinion, because you might be looking from one lens, so you seek other people's opinion. I remember even the last day that I was supposed to do the final voice in the studio, I remember I asked my producer, I said, okay, listen to this. And he said, it's mine. And then quickly I adjusted that line there in the studio before voicing. So these are some of the things you do, why we still pass our message and make sure that we don't water it down, that it uses the message, but we will try our best not to break the law, we try our best also not to insult people, yeah? But when we have the fact, why not? We call it out.
It's all right. Okay, this brings us to the wrap of this particular session. So please, can we give him a big round of applause?
Yes, thank you very much, Mickey Ultra and Puri, aka Sheko Ibrahim Puri. Before we continue, with the next presentation, which will be by A.B. Wordsmith, we have some spoken word performance from Ramadan. So Ramadan, if you're ready. The round of applause for Ramadan on behalf of Wish Society.
Thank you very much. Ina gaisuwa. Let me start with Nigeria, my country. Nigeria, my pride. Nigeria, kasata, abar alfaharina. Nigeria is my horizon. So I would like to talk about Nigeria. Across the horizon, the place where I came from, I read and I was told in the history of a place across the horizon was once a place where people lived by one another's happiness for no reason. Across the horizon, a place where hospitality and freedom of commerce attract people from different places to come to place where you have a business comfort zone. Across the horizon, a place blessed with natural resources and so much fertility that makes it easy for everyone to make it green and feed in every season. Across the horizon, a place with a progressive system led by patriotic leaders who invested much in education for young people to have free and easy access to formal education, making them productive to participate in governance and making of decisions that will shape the future of the upcoming generations. But now we have lost the way. We have lost our norms and values. We are now victims of a broken system. We are leaders, we are divorced from reality and get marred by all forms of atrocities that gradually transition the vanity of our morality into vanity of immorality. A broken system that give birth to unhealthy society with no sanity but full of poverty that intensify the rate of calamity. We are now living in a society with the uncertainty of the security of our lives and properties because people with the authority care less of their responsibilities to provide security and protection of the citizens. We are now living across the horizon that become a comfort zone of terrorism. We are the rich are giving weapons to the poor to kill the poor. The rich should also know that one day the poor will have no gain in killing the poor, and that will be the time for the poor to start killing the rich with those weapons given by the rich. It's all this happening around me as a young person make me feel like a body at inception that have the zeal and passion. But whenever I look at those faces and the scenes happening in the political cycle, my thoughts dissolve into confusion. Decades after decades, young shall grow is what they said. But yet, they deny me my democratic right for participation. They are afraid of me because they knew I'm the source of revolution. That is why they deprive me my right to education, for me to remain in the dark without a point of light on their deception. Youth, obey the clarion call as they said, and we struggle hard under the sun or in the rain to make them who they are. But they return, they treat us less the humans we are. They use the power of hate speech to chase away the spirit of togetherness among us, for us to remain divided and for them to remain in power. That is why if you ask me why do we hate, I will tell you that we hate because they taught us to hate. We hate because they taught us not to tolerate. We hate because they taught us to discriminate, while they knew hatred is what discrimination generates. That they knew hatred is the basis of public sentiment from which they drive their political interest. Some preachers are paid to preach hatred as word of God, which they mutilate. Please don't be deceived, but be convinced that hatred has no religion, hatred has no culture, hatred has no tradition, and hatred has no value. Hatred is a disease that we need to eradicate, but the media platforms are disseminating hatred for the masses to emulate, and that makes hatred a disease from which very few are immune. We hate because they made us believe that there is more than one race in the face of the world. There's only one race in the world, the human race. Are you a human? If you are and you believe you are a human, you don't need to hate because we all belong to the same race. They made us believe that the language we speak and the pigmentation of our skin made us inferior or superior to others. The language we speak or the pigmentation of our skin has no ties with intelligence, wealth, poverty, or worth of being humans. Of course, there is no gene for hatred. There's no gene for racism. There's no gene for bigotry. We all learn to do such. And whatever we learn, we can all learn. With all I've said, you may ask, then when shall we be free? We shall be free when we, the youth, realize that we have the power to revolutionize the system of governance and refuse giving ourselves to those corrupt politicians who enslaved our hopes, making us believe that we can only achieve greatness by being their own Lord on social media platforms. We shall be free. We shall be free when we realize that the bandits are killing people with no regards to their political or religious affiliation. Then we shall keep aside our differences to amplify our voices, to break the silence and call the government for good governance and violence and action against violence. Then we shall be free. We shall be free when we summon back the spirit of peace and unity and care less of our ethnicity to uphold the honor and glory of our dear country, Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Preach! Now, that's about that. Please, a round of applause. Because the way I see it, it transformed from spoken word to preaching. Yes, Ramadan preached for us. Yes. So thank you very much, Ramadan. We're going to continue with the last but not the least presentation from AP Wordsmith, an alumni of the Freedom Vibes Academy. You know they say save the best to last. So we're going to see a presentation titled Mubaraka from AP Wordsmith. Please, a round of applause.
For the time to come, for our belly to host the sunshine of our dreams. For stability in our minds, for us to get to the destination. We have waited for so long at the door of hope, for the rain to take away the drought of the land, for the end of man-made disasters that have ravished our communities. Bad choices, incompetences, injustice, how democracy has turned to a family affair. Waiting so long for the rain to come to take away the drought of our lands, for our youth to some opportunity to land. We long for the rains to come. We have waited for them for so long. For the masses to have their voices, to get votes amassed. So our farmers can go back to the land without fear of those that have become feudal lords, tasking us for our lives, for our property, and for the air that we breathe. For how long are we going to wait on queue with our arms outstretched waiting for handouts? Lokaci yayi da zamu buga kararrawa for our tongues and tongues to be advocacies ringing tones. Let our conscience and intelligence be consistently ringing too. A yayin da muka je zaben shugaba, mu tuna mu zaɓi wanda zai ba mu ci gaba. For change is vital and it begins with you and me. Only if we take actions to make better choices. Better choices.
So I would like to invite AP Wordsmith, please, to the stage, and Ricky Ultra.
Okay, actually, Abdul Basit Abubakar Adamu is a participant as well under the Freedom Vibes Academy, and of course, he happened to represent Kano State. So, due to that, I think this wasn't the only one. Actually, Classic Ori is another participant from that particular academy as well. So, there were the two representatives. So, please, a big round of applause for him as well. And Aminu Nasara as well. Okay, now tell us, how did you come about hearing, seeing, or getting that particular word, Freedom Vibes Academy?
All right, thank you very much. The first time I got to hear about Freedom Vibes Academy, a friend of mine, Salim Yunusa, who was also a participant of the academy, who sent me the link. And that was the first time I got to know about Freedom Vibes. When he sent me the link, I went to the website and I saw what they do, and I was like, oh, this is something I would want to be part of. I applied, and well, fortunately, I got in. So that person sending me that link was the first ever time I got to hear about Unchained Vibes Africa.
Now, Unchained Vibes Academy, tell us exactly what you've learned from Unchained Vibes Academy.
So, there was so much learning with Freedom Vibes Academy.